Hello and welcome. So in this video I'm going to take a updated look at MegaRandom because, and I quote, I'm going to go check the notes exactly what it said. Give me a second. Scroll. Where does it say it? MegaRandom, a major increase of variation for all map layouts leading to less predictability. Nomad starts can now feature extra villagers, up to 14. Extra food resources, herdables, huntables, forage bushes can now appear on neutral lands. New bamboo, trees, water, and animals have been added, and a mixing of tree types and forests has been added. So, the question is, to what extent will we actually see this? The last time I did this video was a couple of years ago, and I went through all the MegaRandom variations, and we're going to do it again. Similar video. So, just as a refresh, MegaRandom kind of works like a glorified map pack, in that there are, at this point, 45 potential map maps. Let's say, we'll call them maps that can be chosen from. And then the starting objects and the resources are randomized independently from the map layout that's chosen. And in order to test this, what I'm going to do is simply comment out the entire part where this is chosen and put in some code down here where we can check through each of these 45. Now, first of all, 45 does not seem like it's more variations than there were before. Maybe there's more built-in variations within the ones in this map, within the different maps in this map pack, but overall this, at first glance, doesn't seem like it's more variation to me. So let's get started. I'm going to have to save changes each time I do this. So, we're testing in 2v2. So, this layout, I think, is actually, it's familiar from my last video. It's a very close start. If it spawns as nomad, then villagers are scattered. Here we have the very close start again, and it looks like there might be a bit of unwallable terrain here. That looks like quicksand. Yeah, so here it's sort of like land madness where the woodlines are unwallable. Okay, here the players have spawned close to each other, close to their teammates. Woodlines are still unwallable. And sort of a Lombardia style. Okay, here it's basically Arabia. Okay, here they're sort of medium distance. So I'm definitely noticing... Okay, the woodlines are still unwallable, but I'm definitely noticing more variability just within this. This is, you know, Mega Pack A1. This one has a fair bit of variability built into it. It's sort of Arabia style, but it can be close, can be far, can be nomad. The woodlines can be unwallable, but don't have to be. They can be small or large. Relics seem to be sort of a ringer on the outside usually, but they can be doubled up here. Like, I think for the resources, of course, the resources, as I said, vary independently from the chosen map. But the map layout is just open land map with a lot of different ways it can be, whether super close start or not a close start. And we definitely have the new chickens featured as well. So yeah, this is kind of Arabia, but just generally open land map, or nomad, or land madness style. Next pack is number 2. Let's take a look. And once again, this is going to be kind of long video. The last one, I believe, was like 50 minutes back when I did this. Maybe this one will be shorter, but probably not, because we have 45 different maps to look at. So I'm noticing a lake, which can be frozen. It can be shallows. So this body of water, this lake with land in the middle, seems to be the defining feature of this map layout. Doesn't always have a landmass in the middle, though. Always a central lake, it seems. And of course it plays out very differently depending on what resources are there, whether or not this is shallow or water or there's no island. Okay, we can have forest just in the middle. I clicked too quickly there, but that can happen. We can also have sort of like a hill around, yeah. We can have a basically useless middle island. Yeah, the defining feature seems to be the central lake, kind of small lake, and can have an island in it. Quicksand with nothing on it. Wow, we got one with walls. Shallows with nothing in it. Yeah. So this map is, you know, central lake map. With lots of different builds on the central lake idea. Alright, next up we have... Okay, so... Same thing, but a bigger central lake, I want to say. Yeah, this is basically, like, large central lake. Well, okay, here we have sort of a river style. Large central body of water, though. Here we have a significant amount of shallows between these two players, but no shallows between these two players. That is an interesting generation. Remember, blue and green and red and yellow are allied here. If we check the diplomacy tab. Yeah. This is an interesting generation. And I don't recall seeing something quite of this nature in the previous MegaRandom. Then we have significant shallows. Oh, these are not shallows. They look like shallows, but this is the unwallable bogland terrain. Also a nomad map. Yeah, so this is basically a large body of water, large central island, with variations on how stuff is connected. You know, we've only gone through 3 maps, but I'm definitely pleasantly surprised in the variability that we're seeing here. This is better than it used to be. Despite the fact that the headline number of maps is the same. I feel like we have more variability within the maps now. Alright, let's check the next menu, number 4. Okay. Looks still the same, just even bigger. Just like, it's the same thing, but the lake in the middle is even bigger. Ooh, we can get a double ring. This is also something I don't recall seeing in the past. Yeah, okay, so it's no longer fair to say that this is just 45 maps. Like, many of these are so different, not just in the seasonal variation, but in the actual layout. They play out significantly differently. Like, the central theme here is this giant body of water, often with a giant island. But potentially, you know, with this sort of lake in the middle style, or not. Also, interestingly, that we sometimes have the land connections. Like, on HyperRandom, or generally on a map, I would usually put shallows in a place like this. But land, of course, changes the layout. So this is an interesting thing to have here. It's something to note that I could add to HyperRandom to sometimes have these shallows actually be land. I like this double ring. Well, this is cool. This is also new as far as I know. Right, next up. 2 lakes and 2 forests and thing in the middle. I think this is the 4 lakes. Okay, it's 2 lakes again. 2 lakes in the other direction. You'll also notice, and I have not been commenting on it, but these forest mixes, they look new. And we've seen the chickens, and we've seen the mouflons. Here we have 4 lakes and the central lake. So it's basically different variations on 4 lakes. Often taking 2 lakes though. Like here the central thing was a lake sometimes, and here sometimes it's just an open area. So it's like 2 lakes or 4 lakes basically. And sometimes they're forests. Yeah. Oh, this one has 0 lakes except this central one. Yeah. Alright, the central land or water mass seems to be fairly constant thing around here too. About 4 lakes again. 4 lakes and a 5th lake, yeah. And this time it's the 2 forests instead of lakes, and we still have the central area again. Yeah, I think we get the idea for this one. Let's move on. Alright, so we have this hill in the middle that has a bunch of resources and wood lines, it seems. And this time we have 2 lakes in the middle. There were these 2 central lakes was a thing that existed in MegaRandom before. At least now we have the quicksand lakes, unwallable. Yeah, this is the 2 central lakes setup. I remember this one. And sometimes those lakes are not actually lakes, like the original one that we had where they were forested hills. It's a bit awkward when the players are intruding, like the player land is intruding on where the lake is supposed to be. Then you get this square shape. New bamboo trees. Yeah, this is the 2 lakes theme. 2 central lakes, mind you. And here, yeah, you can't see it, but the 2 central lakes, there's this hill here with forest on it, and this hill. It's basically 2 hills. And we have the 2 lakes again, yeah. Next up, we have a very open map this time around with sort of valleys in between. Get a feel for this one. Okay, this time it's elevated water in between. A mountain ridge between. This time it's nomad with a bunch of villagers. But again, we have a ridge. So it's either a ridge or a valley between players. Or, I suppose, a river. Alright, it's the river again, with water in it this time. Okay, it's a river. Yeah, so it's basically, it's separation between the players. Either a ridge or a valley, and the valley can have water in it, or the ridge could also have water on it. And like that shallow land bridge, or the land bridge that isn't shallows, but just full land, I need to keep that in mind. That's a good thing to add to MegaRandom. Okay, here we just have a mountain ridge, but you get the idea for this map, right? You can have various variations on either a ridge or a valley. You can even have a like full separation. Man, ships would be dominant on this. Alright, let's check map pack number 8. And I'm going to take a drink. Alright. This is 4 lakes again, except here the corners are bigger and the middle is smaller. Except now we have this layout. And we have the new water terrain, yeah. But okay. 4 lakes. All right. It's the 4 lakes, but with bigger corner lakes is the typical theme. But here it's just not that, just the center only. And sometimes it's just the center of the river. You really can't pin down these maps as well as you used to. Like, recognizing, you can of course recognize a layout, but already in just, like, what are we on, like 9? 8 or 9? 8? We've seen a lot of variation. Let's move on. Don't want this video to be super excessively long. Okay, we have like continental or something like that, or rivers. Here the players are no longer separated. It's sort of like Scandinavia. Yeah, Scandinavia, but the players can have separation between them, or not. The constant thing seems to be the water on the outside, which can be forest sometimes. The constant thing seems to be, yeah. It's you can't think of any specific area as like a water area. It's just a landmass area, right? It can be a hill, it can be a forest, it can be water. MegaRandom does that too, though, right? It says, you know, the corner could be a hill, it could be a forest, it could be shallows, water. Here we have the players split. I like this map too. I feel like it also more variation than we used to have. Yeah, it's sort of Scandinavia, but with potential splits and such. And it can always be, and of course could be forest instead of water. And I haven't seen the double relics has appeared a couple times already too. I'm also seeing more variation in what you start with. I'm not commenting on that right now, but of course I am noticing that as well. More focusing on the structure of maps. This looks new. It's like each corner in sort of like a whirligig pattern? I don't know. Let's try a couple variations on this one and see what it looks like. It seems to be fundamentally the same layout. Okay, and now we have Mishi instead. And now we just have the Scandinavia with... This is, mind you, this is the same map that we were just looking at before with the weird whirligigs. So it's the previous map, except water can take the place of part of the forest? Is that a fair way of saying it? It's the previous map, it's Scandinavia, but it prefers doing forest over water, and sometimes the forest has water in it. I think that's a fair assessment, right? Definitely weird. I like it. This is great. Like, this is actually a huge update for MegaRandom. Okay, we have a central elevated lake. The players start in valleys. Alright, players start on hills this time around. And very forested. Players start in valleys again. So it's like hills or valleys kind of as a theme, and we often have this central area. This... I understand how this is made. Ah, right. Now I understand how the weird whirligig water was made too. Yeah. The forest is just avoiding players by a very large radius. All these chickens. I like it. Alright, that's the same thing, but a slightly different rotation. Alright, the constant thing seems to be center and elevated or de-elevated player areas. And we have this one again. And it even has an island. Very cool. Let's move on. We're only on 12 out of 45. Okay. Okay. The first one was a typical water map. This is an atypical water map. I'm trying to think like, how some of these things are implemented, and it's not completely straightforward. Like, to get this type of shape in a random map script, a diagonal line, not so easy. With these weird spiral shapes again. Okay, so I see what's happening with the spiral shape. I'm finding it now, right? It's the land is avoiding the players with this circle. So the big circle avoiding the players. That's what's happening here. That's how you're getting this weird circle. That looks very cool, and it's not something you typically see in AOE2 maps in this way. That's a cool idea to be used like this, I have to say. Alright. Moving on, we have, yeah, same idea with these circular shapes. I guess that's what's happening with the diagonal too, actually, is it's just depending on where the players are positioned. Yeah, right. That's how the diagonal is being created. It's avoiding the players. Nice. All right, let's move on. Okay. Ah, I see. Yeah, unwallable forest seems to be the theme here. Or not. You really can't classify these maps as easily as you could when I did the video the last time. There's just so much more variability now. Yeah, unwallable but with shallows. And then we have our very close map again. Tiny, teeny bit of water away in the corners, and once again unwallable. Yeah, unwallable forest is not always, but that's generally the theme here. Okay, what have we got here? 4 lakes with islands? 4 lakes without islands? Seems to be another 4 lakes style. Yeah, the 4 lakes, often with islands, seems to be the theme here. Often also with the central area, right, too, but 4 lakes, yeah. Unwallable? Unwallable 4 corners again. Same thing, but with shallows this time, and with the lake in the middle. Yeah, basically difficult to wall with these shallow rivers. Or quicksand, one other generation. Yeah, quicksand again here. Basically a dried out river, I guess that's what it represents here. Sort of four rivers with woodlines on the outside. 4 mangroves. So why not? Yeah, okay, this one's fairly consistent. 16. Alright. Sort of an island style, but connected. Yeah, connected islands. Connected islands. Yeah, it seems to be islands with connections. See if we get something different. It's basically islands with connections. Right, next up. This is... Well, the other one was team islands with connections, to be fair. This seems to be individual islands with connections. Yeah, this is individual islands, where the other one was team islands. Alright, next up. Okay, Acropolis? Not really. It's just unwallable base. I expect we'll see shallows here as well. Let's keep looking. Yeah, unwallable base seems to be the theme here. Although, we can end up with, I don't know, a houseboat type thing. Pretty nice resources at home, but tricky to move out. Yeah, the ring around the players seems to be consistent here, right? Or it could be shallows, in which case it makes... Well, shallows basically functions equivalently to this rock terrain. If it's water, then that changes the gameplay significantly. You guys can still see, yeah, that's good. Okay, this is our 2 lakes setup, but with extra rivers. Yeah, it's again, okay, now we have 2 wood lines with unbuildable terrain instead of rivers. MegaRandom likes doing that, where it gives you unwallable terrain instead of water on certain map variations. The consistent thing seems to be these 2 oblong land masses, water masses in the center. I mean, maybe it's something I could consider for hyper random too. I think I only do it when it's frozen. where then it could all be ice instead of water. To have all these, to have, you know, this go around the forest, it's not something I don't do on HyperRandom at all. Okay. Yeah, we still have our two central shapes again. Alright, next up. So we're actually almost through the first set. Nearly halfway through. Okay, we have a fancy thing in the middle. Alright, we have an unwallable hill in the middle. We have another unwallable hill. Okay, so unwallable central hill. Ooh, with a ring. That does seem to be a common theme here. I like it when you can look at the minimap and just see what it's likely to be. This is super awkward. Like, you build a dock transport ship, you're immediately across, but you do need to actually dock it. Very easy to dock block, though. Yeah. Ah, you get the gist here, right? Unwallable central landmass that can have various things in the center. Various rings in the center, yeah. Now we need to go to Megapeg B. Did I spell something wrong? Ah, I'm missing an O. Much better. Alright. Similar to the previous one? Kind of. But we sort of have the players jutting out, and the central thing is bigger this time. This map I remember playing on ones like these on HyperRandom, on MegaRandom. Somewhat familiar, yeah. Or this one here. Yeah, same idea. Like, this is where the players would spawn, except it's Nomad, so spawn somewhere. Yeah, you get the idea on this one. 22. Okay, central ring, outer ring, central ring and outer ring. Is that our theme here? Let's see. Kind of, yeah. Still. Okay, the outside has some shallows this time. Yeah, this central thing seems to be consistent, and then we often have interesting stuff happening on the outside. Okay, interesting. Let's move on. Yeah. Alright, we have sort of Acropolis with track terrain. Again. Okay, we have Acropolis, but it's doing the fancy trick here with the round areas. That actually works surprisingly well. There are There aren't many maps that do it, and I've said this before, but it lends itself to some interesting map designs. It's kind of Acropolis variations, is what we're looking at here, though, no? Yeah, basically. Okay. This might be unwallable as well. This time there's a huge lake in the middle. Again. Yeah, so Central Depression seems to be the theme here, I'd say. Yeah. Even this one, with the weird lakes, has the Central Depression again in the middle. One thing I haven't seen much of is Mangrove Shallows maps, actually. Those seem to happen more frequently in the older MegaRandom. Cool. Let's move on. Okay. These can be awkward to dock when there's like a slope on the water. Maybe there's one tile where it's flat, so it's okay. Alright, same thing. We have players are high up with forests on the outside, water on the inside. Okay, this time... Yeah, I feel like this stuff is super hard to dock. Or it can be super hard to dock. We have sort of the round shape going again. Wallable stuff, interesting. It's like this is like a center and outside are low and the player lands are high. It's the theme here. Whether it's forest or water, the theme holds. Same thing here again. Yep. Alright. Okay. Let's generate a couple. We've got a central lake and an outer area that can be forest or water. Or central area and outer area. We've had that theme a couple of times, right? And one of the updates was that neutral lands on MegaRandom now have more resources. So I mean, this is like a neutral land here, for example. Yeah, this is fundamentally like an inside-outside areas map. We've seen ones already that are similar to this. Okay, like Baltic or Mediterranean. Yeah, still, but the lake is much bigger. Yeah. Basically, it seems to be central lake. Here's a water elevated lake. Central lake is the theme here. So we are seeing similar designs pop up again between different maps in the MegaRandom pack here. Or similar ideas. A bit different though, right? Alright, move on. Okay, this is a hamburger, kind of. The showers on the outside. Still hamburger, but with a crazy amount of unwallable terrain. And Nomad, just for added fun. Yeah, MegaRandom likes its unwallable areas. Basically the same map. It's hamburger variations, right? Often with stuff in the corners. And the middle doesn't have to be forest, it could be other stuff too. This one does have mangroves fairly frequently. Also tricky to wall though, right? These you can't build on that part of them. That's just a ring of shallows. This is hamburger variations, yeah. What have we got here? It's called acclivity, isn't it? Is that what we're gonna see here? Kind of. Yeah, sort of acclivity style. What is it called? Lowlands? I think it's called acclivity. Using the unwallable slopes again. MegaRandom does like using those. Yeah. I wonder if this one can actually generate Mishi, this variant. Seems to be not doing that though. Not frequently. Okay, we have a big lake. Big lake again, and often this unwallable terrain. Big lake, I mean, depending on it, you can sometimes wall in these cases, but generally big lake not wallable. The theme here. Yeah. Still here, not wallable, yeah. Big lake not wallable. 31. Okay. More unwallable terrain. Very big unwallable rivers. Oh, bunch of chickens. Unwallable rivers. Unwallable dry rivers. Alright, unwallable rivers is our theme here. With connections that can sometimes be awkward. Yeah, unwallable rivers it is. All of these have a roughly equal chance of occurring, by the way. Oh, we have our triple base start. Triple TC start. Let's go. Is this just the triple map? taking a long time to generate this one. Yep, it is. Let's generate a few more of them, even if it is a bit slow. Basically triple Oasis now. Alright, can be double TC as well. And the thing in the middle doesn't have to be a forest, it could be like... Alright, this is still our multi-TC map though, right? It really even prefers doing 3 TCs. There's 2 again, yeah. Double, triple TC map. So yeah, each of these has... Basically each is 50-50, so each of these, any given map here has like a 2.5% chance of being chosen. Okay. I'm sensing we're gonna have some unwallable rocks. Nope, we don't. Interesting, going for these curved shapes again. Maybe it's just chance though, in this case. Alright. Yeah, seems to be like players separated by shallows is the theme here. Even here, players separated by shallows. Yeah. This... I remember this playing MegaRandom on this one, right? You start up high, the woodlines are down low, it's unwallable hills. Didn't have a lake when I played it. But... yeah. This is a fairly fixed layout. Can be double TC though. Something to be aware of, I suppose. Wood is always on the outside. I think that's the constant here, wood on the outside and having this unwallable elevated area. Yeah, double seems to be not even that rare on this one. Double seems to be fairly common on this map. Okay. We did have single ones too. Sometimes you wonder how random this stuff really is, but maybe it's actually quite likely that this one does double TC starts. Alright. Kind of Black Forest-ish, maybe? Well, can't really say that. Sort of like dirt separating the players here. This might be unwallable. Quicksand underneath, probably not. 2 lakes. Alright, this map is defying classification. Now it's a double TC start. We have our sort of snaky Mishi type wall, actually. Again. It's like thin Mishi is actually the theme. With a fair amount of variance in what it does with it, but it's a thin Mishi. And that one time it was just dirt instead of actually being... Yeah, sometimes it's not Mishi, but... Like, Mishi is the archetype, I think, I would say. Yeah. Super thin, though. It's very easy to break through. And then... for added fun, it could do double TC starts, too. thin Mishi. With these discontinuous trees, with this type of woodline, of course, it's basically get through easily. 36. Let's generate a couple. Similar, but we started super close here. Yeah. Close start again and unwallable terrain. New snap. Ooh, Relic Rush. Relic Rush again. Unwallable terrain, though, seems to be the name of the game here. Sometimes it's water, but still unwallable. When you start this close, you get cramped in the middle. And often a Relic Rush on this one. That's something to remember if you get this one specifically, I suppose. Actually, is it always relics in the center? Keep an eye on that. Yeah, Relic Rush is the defining characteristic, except when it's this small, then there's no room for many relics. Yeah, this one is relics always in the center. Yeah, central relics is the theme here. Okay, we kind of have had ones like this before. They had a hill in the middle, though. It's migration with shallows? Or without shallows? Also very square lands here. It's migration. This one is migration of the sort. Yeah. But it can have shallows, which makes it easy to migrate in those cases. And it has these extra areas too. Yeah, migration. I'm looking at these in 2v2, so you get a bit of an impression both for team games and 1v1 how it would look like. You can imagine what any of these would look like as a 1v1 map, right? You see a bit more variability with team members. Okay, we have another Scandinavia. It seems to be elevated. Unwallable forests. Woodlines this time. It's using the Scandinavia style, though, right? It's another set of basically Scandinavia variants. Or side. And basically I'm just calling something that has two big strips of land on both sides. Or two big strips of uniform terrain on both sides. I'm calling that the Scandinavia variant. Which seems to be the name of the game here. When you're closer to the center, the sides are bigger. Interesting. You can have a bunch of resources there too. Very nice. Grouped. Yeah, there seems to be more variation within the individual maps here, which I do not have time to look at it this. Like I'd have to do a whole separate stream for that, I'd say. This is just sort of a superficial look at MegaRandom variants. Okay. I have seen maps like this before. Central Depression is the name of the game again. Yeah. Unwallable Central Depression. We've seen that in various forms. already. Global Central Depression. Yeah. Next up, home stretch. Stepped hill or staggered hill. Yeah, staggered hill. Staggered hill with an unwallable player, but still. Yeah, and this can be, like, it's steeper or less steep. You can have massive areas that you can't build anything on. Stepped hills. This also existed in MegaRandom in the past, I'm pretty sure. Sometimes they're flatter and sometimes they're steeper. Don't know how much I like these, like this is just dead area here. Stepped hills though. 41. Generic land map? Or not? Giant 4 lakes? Even gianter 4 lakes? Something's gone weird here. Why do we have a 5th player? This is a bug. No? I wanted 4 players. Something has gone wrong here. It's generated players 5 and 6. Or it's generated yellow at least. It's also a 2 TC start. No, it's not. Wait, blue? Blue. Something has gone super wrong here. Yeah. You know what? This will make... I know it's a bug. This will make a great screenshot thumbnail for the video. This has got to be a bug, right? I can pass that one on. Yeah. Wait, yellow was supposed to be there. Still, that was just a weird buggy generation now. See if we get that again, just by chance. Okay, kind of a dead area out there. Okay, so these big, huge areas in the corners are the telltale things here. And I think that was just a... Alright, here we have a double... Maybe it was trying to do a double TC start and just horribly overlapped things. Here we've got one again. Yeah, I mean, these are all correct. Alright, let's move on. Okay, unwallable on both sides. Unwallable ring terrain. Wallable terrain. Unwallable terrain. Kind of an open land map. You can still see the outlines of where the things are. Double TC start again. kind of forest inside-outside or inside-outside areas, double TC start included. So those should be somewhat more common, I think, than before at this rate. The mangrove ring I remember playing on once, it looked exactly like this. This is basically the same map, just with dry forest on the outside and inside. The unwallable rings again? Yeah. Gone. Team islands, but no water? Or team unwallable areas? Team unwallable areas. Yeah, team unwallable areas. $44. Hey, so we've finished the whole soundtrack. That means it is... Check, actually, how long is the soundtrack? 50 minutes? I think it's 50 minutes or something like that. No, 142. Holy shit. No, wait a minute. 1 hour. 1 hour. That's about right. Yeah. Makes sense. We have, 45 to look through, and there was a fair amount of variation here. Interesting. Interesting. Swampy forests here. Shallows madness. Yeah, that seems to be what's happening here. I like this one. Or it just turns into another double TC one. It's the same still, just there's not enough room for the ice to actually surround the forests because the players are pushing everything out of the way. Yeah. But basically, yeah, these forests sort of surrounded by shallows is what we're seeing here. Alright, and then the finale with map pack 45, mega pack 45. Go. Okay. Nomad. I'd like a Socotra Nomad. Is this one always Nomad? Might always be Nomad. We had one like this back before in MegaRandom too. It seems to be always Nomad. Okay. Does not seem to be always Nomad, I stand corrected. It seems to be often a Nomad map though. And always kind of constricted close. This is another crazy one with villagers. This is a 14 villager nomad start now. That's what's going on here. Absolute madness. Alright, this one seems to be nomad very often. And seems to have high numbers of villagers on a regular basis as well. Alright, so in conclusion, MegaRandom still has the same number of sort of maps templates in here. However, there seems to be a lot more. I want to say there's more variation on the individual map templates here, where some of them can play out very differently, not just based on seasonal variants, but just things in different locations, different terrains. There's a lot of unwallable forests, just generally unwallable strips of terrain. That seems to be a common theme in many of them. And in general, you'll want to check what's in the center, you'll want to check what's in the corners usually. So I hope this stream was informative, and if you have any comments, if you found any of these maps interesting, you can leave a comment below. and thanks for listening in.